really happy to be here tonight. I work at Northwestern Mutual Greater Milwaukee, so work in financial services, specifically in campus recruitment. I've been with Northwestern Mutual for 4 years. Prior to that, I worked for a staffing company in Milwaukee, working with Fortune 500 companies. So kind of being the go-between between candidates and Fortune 500 healthcare, retail, and financial services companies. But I got my start in LinkedIn through sales and working for smaller companies, working with smaller business owners, really learning how to drive a referral process, get connected to people, and kind of add on to like daily appointment settings. So LinkedIn is a really awesome tool. I add to it all the time. I'm making sure that I'm keeping current, even though I'm very happy in my career with different accomplishments I have and stuff, because it's a 24/7, 365 resource and it's free. So it's absolutely something you should add to, and we're excited to talk to you guys tonight about it for sure.
Perfect. Thanks, Kyle. Why don't you go ahead and, if you're comfortable, share your screen and just show, as a recruiter, what do you think that you look for the most when you're looking at a student's profile, and then what tools do you use in LinkedIn to connect, engage, or expand your network?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll just show you like exactly how I do this. So and this is an important thing for you guys to think about. So I'm going to go to University of Oshkosh, or University of Wisconsin Oshkosh.
Oh, we're not seeing your screen quite yet.
Oh, okay. Here, let me see.
There we go. Now we're on it. Perfect. Nope, we had it before.
Can you see now?
There we go.
Good?
Yep,
this is a little lag. Cool. So I'm actually searching for the university, and when I'm looking for students in our internship, we're looking for a couple things. We're looking for an interest in finance, sales, or marketing. We're looking for leadership experience, past work experience, all of that. And one thing I actually learned about was searching for alumni. And I know the people on the call are current students, but what I do and what I've recruited students through doing is actually looking up universities in my recruiting territory, picking grad dates for students that qualify for our internship program. So second semester sophomores all the way to seniors, and then picking greater Milwaukee area where we're from to start out. And I'll do a simple search here for finance, add that in there. And what I actually do then is it shows me 387 alumni, but they're currently going to school. They're graduating in 2020 or 2022. This is showing me that out of the thousands of students at UW Oshkosh, these 34 have the word finance on their profile, right? So I might do finance, and then maybe I'll do something like American Marketing Association. A lot of times we're not just looking for students who are going to school, but also students that are like actually involved on campus. And a lot of times people that are studying finance but have an interest in marketing tend to do well here. So again, I can kind of go through, hit control, click, and then that'll open up new windows for me and what I'm looking for. And we'll do like a live critique here. We see a really professional profile here. I can see that I'm connected to 8 other people, and I actually recognize people from my company or other students that I interviewed right there. We see a nice about me section where showing what year in school he is, what he's studying. It shows after graduation plans, experience that he has, and then it has other internship programs. And this is probably something that the student updated like maybe this year when they were there, but you can see really good like action statements on abilities here. It shows their experience and then some of their skills, but I love on here even just seeing the student for the first time. Shows an award that they had, classes that they took, and interests of companies, right? So from a very high level overview, that's like basic stuff of how I would use LinkedIn to search for different students. And that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I would actually reach out, and I can go ahead and share my screen for a second. I'm not actually going to send this message, but I would send you exactly what I might send to a student. Let me know when you guys can see this. Again. Are we able to see it again or no?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So I think one thing is like it's great to build up connections, but one thing that I've realized in 7 years of recruiting using this platform as a job seeking tool myself, super important to get across a personal message of why you want to reach out. So if I wanted to recruit Ryan, I might say, "Hi Ryan, hope the semester is going well. I saw on your profile that you've had 2 great internships. It's evident You have skills and marketing, or skills and leadership, finance, accounting, and communication. All things we look for in top candidates for our top 10 internship program. Would love to chat about, or would love to chat more, right? So you have 300 characters. It's not a lot, right? But at least Brian would know why a recruiter would be reaching out to him at that point.
I always say write freely, edit with a vengeance.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you only have 300 characters. I couldn't agree more with that for sure. And a lot of times, you can come up with a template, but, if you were looking for recruiters, you could do the same thing here, right? So, Ryan, Bain, is there like a company you guys are particularly interested in? Or we could even do Northwestern Mutual, right? So I could type Northwestern Mutual in here if I was a candidate. And I could actually look for people at Northwestern Mutual. And this is free, by the way. This is a free platform of LinkedIn. I could go to all filters. If I knew I was from the Milwaukee area, I could do that. Current company, Northwestern Mutual. And then I could type in recruiter or human resources. And I could hit apply. And that's going to give me 37 people that are in human resources at Northwestern Mutual. And, a lot of times you're looking for a recruiter, right? So you don't necessarily, like a human resources generalist would be good, assistant director would be good, but a lot of times we're looking for a recruiter. So I might go back to my filter search here and go back to this title. This is going to specifically look at every single person's title. So we might just do recruiter. So it actually shows 5 people that are recruiters. It shows myself on here as well too. And then just for the sake of this, we could go, a lot of recruiters are going to be showing what they're recruiting for. They're going to have a tagline here. And even so right here, you would just scroll down and maybe just read, right? And if I was looking for a finance internship, you could just see right here, I say for college students, I collaborate with talent team to identify talent for our internship program. Then I have a ton of links here and videos, right? So that would indicate to me that reaching out saying, hey, I saw this internship, super interested in learning a little bit more about Northwestern Mutual, attaches my resume, would love to connect. That would be an opportunity where, like, even though I'll have applicants applying and candidates to follow up with, as a recruiter, I'm always looking to connect with people that are interested in talking about our company, right? And someone that's specifically seeking me out, understands what I recruit for, the role that I'm in. That's going to be someone that's at the front of my to-do list every single morning for sure, without a doubt. If not, like when they reach out to even.
Great overview. Kyle, we have a question from Bain that said, is LinkedIn mainly for business or finance type platform, because he's a criminal, or they're a criminal justice major, and wanted to see if LinkedIn would benefit them. And actually, it's interesting, Bain, that you brought that up, because in the university, the College of Business requires that our students have an internship. I'm sorry, have an internship, but have a LinkedIn profile. And so you're going to see that there's a number of them, but we were just looking to see how we might be able to reach out to other students, and that was our kind of conversation around Quest 3 and whether we should have that. And so I did a quick search to be able to see under LinkedIn UW Oshkosh alumni, and I typed in psychology, and there was more psychology students than there were supply chain students.
Oh, wow.
That were listed. And so, yeah, Bain, if you go back under, as Kyle was searching, and we did UW Oshkosh, and we click for UW Oshkosh, and then see those psychology and or criminal justice, that's certainly a way to be able to do it. Otherwise, I know, don't you hate when this does this, Kyle?
Yeah.
You have to go, like, it's right there, but it won't allow you to click on it. So go to alumni.
No, I
and
love
you can
it. Let's
type
just
in
say
there,
like 2014 to 2018, even, just to get people that are not in college anymore in psychology as a major, as you said.
yeah,
Did I spell that? No, I didn't. Spelling is important, guys. All right.
there you go. And you can hit the next button.
Yeah, so it shows 1,010 alumni in the United States. And again, 18 psychology intern, UW Oshkosh psychology graduate student. I mean, these are 1,000 students that graduated between that, and you can even see like cognitive, right? tons and tons and tons of stuff, right? Another cool thing is you could just, instead of doing, like, if we wanted to get rid of psychology and maybe it was like you have an interview
Let's do
at
criminal justice or whatever, right? Oh
yeah,
yeah, or a
yep,
company.
criminal justice, absolutely. So, and even if we want to look at Oshkosh area too, there's 213 people, and you would just adjust the grad date for what you're looking for, right? But this shows you here a ton of people that studied criminal justice right here. Psychology student, criminal justice and psychology, major in criminal justice. I mean, tons and tons of stuff, right?
Yeah, and then Bain, if you go up to the top and you see where do they live, where do they work, you can see, do they work for the Department of Corrections? Are they with the U.S. Army? Are they with Milwaukee Police Department? So you can see a number of different connections that way. So.
And you could even type in companies or institutions too if you wanted to. So you'll see the search alumni by title, keyword, or company. You can pick where they work, and that's especially helpful when you're doing interviews too.
Perfect. Kyle, I think you were going this way when we went back to UW Oshkosh, but maybe show the jobs feature and how a student would search for the jobs piece, and then we can use criminal justice to see what pops up over there too.
100%. So who likes having to retype in their search for a job every single time they look for it? That's an obvious question. No one does, right? So you can, there's a couple things you can do here. We might just even type in a keyword, right? Criminal justice. That's going to give us a lot of different things. You'll see there's 10,000 results for criminal justice in the United States right now. Let's just say Wisconsin to keep it like brief enough where it's in our area. There's 112 results, right? So it's everything from anti-money laundering investigator, the chief of police, border patrol agent. There's a research recruitment specialist. I'm not sure why that would. Sometimes you get other things that come in, right? But adjunct faculty for criminal justice, and you can even go in here and choose entry level, right? So if we know that we're graduating here and we're looking for an entry level role, these are 49 entry level roles based on that, right? So if we, let's see, where's a good one? We're getting a couple different things in here, right? But even like a police officer, University of Wisconsin, River Cup Falls, it shows you a lot of different factors right here. It shows you the job, how many applicants it has, how big the company is, how many alumni you have based on your university. So for me, that's pulling up UW Eau Claire alumni. And then it shows the job application typically. It'll have some posting details. And when you scroll down a little bit more, I have a premium version of LinkedIn, but every person is entitled to 1 free month. And I believe it's even 1 free month per year. You have to have credit card information, but you can go in and cancel that at any time. But once you do that, it actually gives you premium insights. So it shows you the hiring trends for that company, shows you the tenure, the types of universities it goes through, and sometimes it'll even pull like skills that you have on your profile and where you rank based on the other applicants as well. And it'll even show you sometimes like a seniority level. So how many entry level candidates applied, how many senior level employees applied, how many directors or master level employees applied. And what's great too, who asked for the criminal justice position? Bain. Is there a type of role you're looking for in that field, Bain, or is there a type of like, are there types of roles or positions that kind of stand out to you? And if so, can you like share that in the chat? And I'm just going to stay on this screen so that you don't see my screen. Like whenever I share the BD thing, it just shows like 100 pages worth of sharing. Okay, forensics or evidence. Love it. Awesome. That's super helpful. So we might do, there's things you can do on LinkedIn. It's called Boolean. So this is like pretty high level stuff. But just to show you, I'm doing keywords in here. And it's a series of and ors, right? So we know we're looking for something in criminal justice, but you specifically said you're looking for forensics or evidence, right? So forensics, I don't think I spelled that right. Forensics or evidence. And what I'm doing is I'm taking keywords and putting them in quotation marks, and I'm burying them into parentheses. So this search here would look for criminal justice and forensics or criminal justice and evidence in Wisconsin. And when we look at that, it gives us 3 results, right? So border patrol agent, police officer, security dispatcher, but that's based on entry level. There could be, we could clear all of this and even look for associates, and that's really an entry-level role too, a lot of times. But based on our search here on LinkedIn, this would show this. But what we could even do further is we could pick when it's posted, company that's posting it, if it's a remote role, which obviously you're probably not going to get a ton with there. But you can actually go in here. I forget exactly how to do it because I haven't used it in a while. You can actually create a job alert for that, a job search alert for that. Oh yeah, you would go in here to job alerts, and you can search for jobs, and you can, like, if we did this here, it's been a while since I've done something like this, but we could do criminal justice here. I think there's a way that you make
right below it, the word company.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Here.
Yep.
Yep. And what's great is you can get daily or weekly notices, and then you can choose the email. And mind you, this is going to go to the email you have for LinkedIn on your profile. So you want to make sure you have your primary on there. You get a notification just on LinkedIn, and I'll show you where that pop up. Best thing for me, if I'm job seeking, it's email and notification. We could save that. And now this notifications tab up here, wherever you see the bell, it would actually come up every single week based on what we have going on. So whenever you search for a job, you can turn a job alert on there. And what that does is it saves you all the time of messing around with keywords and filters, and it just allows you to have that always going regardless, which is super key.
Kyle, I also, when I'm looking for jobs and I see the list on the left-hand side and I see the one on the right and clearly kind of walk down it, I often tell students to make that large and click on the title. It'll bring it in because that allows the logarithms within LinkedIn to work for you. So every time you click and enlarge a job, it says, ooh, Chelsea's excited about this opportunity. So mine looks like it's on crack cocaine because I have accounting students and criminal justice and or supply chain. So it's all over the place. But for a student, if you're working in specific areas, LinkedIn's going to be able to work better for you if you click on some of those. So
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that too. What other questions do you guys have?
I was going to maybe suggest if you go into your profile and just show, you can let employers or recruiters know that you're interested or you're available. And there's a LinkedIn, so there's different levels. There is regular free LinkedIn, and that's me. And then there is LinkedIn Premium, which Kyle has. And then there's also a LinkedIn Recruiter piece. So Kyle, I think if you go up a little bit, yours might be a little different. So
we can go into me, right? And then we go to like settings maybe, or no?
Mine is underneath my main screen. Let's look over here. So I go under profile and then view profile. Oh, maybe because you are on premium, you don't have that. Mine is right underneath my contact information and my number of connections. So if you stop sharing, I will share my screen.
You'd be better off sharing that one for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So Sam and Maine, if you
not hitting me up tomorrow like, hey, what was this?
I say that all the time too. So you should see my screen here, which allows you to say, okay, so I clicked, you can either do that on the LinkedIn over on this side, or you can say the me section here. And then that brings us to our main page. And mine is right down at the bottom where it says show or share different information. So to get started on that, and so I'm not nervous about this, but I always tell students, see, look, I'm really not job seeking at this point. But you can add specific titles that you might be interested in. So Maine, if you're interested in that forensics, that evidence, the criminal justice police officer, you can add multiple different titles that you'd be interested in, those geographic locations. I think it's cool that LinkedIn, especially since the pandemic, even Handshake has the remote options. And then there's different, I get the question all the time, like, when should I start looking for jobs? And Kyle, you might have an idea based on that too. And I tell students it's never too early to start looking for your full-time opportunities if you're graduating. And then, I'm just casually browsing, and then there's those same kind of search parameters that you'd be looking for, and you add it to your profile. If you want to tell, you just want recruiters to see, it's just that bottom toggle. If you want the banner that says you're open to work, and I don't know that there's a value to either one of those. Sometimes if you're just really casually looking, it's letting the recruiters know and seeing that piece of it, but you can add and adjust your profile as you see fit. And if you don't want to do it, then you just click off of it and it's not on your profile at all. So
I would say the first part of your question, Chelsea, it's never too early as a college student to start looking. A lot of companies will mainly hire people that are closer to graduation because when they get the spot, they're getting the head count for that next year up. So sometimes, like if you're a sophomore or a freshman, it might be harder to get one. But some of our best interns at Northwestern Mutual have been sophomores. They've ranked in the top 10 out of 3,600 interns. So I would tell you it's never too late. I think what makes a candidate stand out, whether that's on LinkedIn, a resume, or an interview, is being able to talk about leadership skills, how they adapted to change. And this year, if anything, has given you guys so many opportunities to adapt to change. Unfortunately, like forcing you to, right? But I think that's huge there. Just ways that you can talk about accomplishments that you had. We know that you don't have a ton of experience, but if you're willing to learn and you can showcase that through examples, there's tons of things you could be doing, going to student organizations, volunteer work. It could be even being like, in a sport club or intramurals. Maybe it's just getting involved, in the College of Business or whatever college you're in. Any of that experience is what campus recruiters are looking for. I think in your collegiate career, the open to work is a great ad. I think it's awesome. I think when you're in your career, if you're not unemployed, you maybe shouldn't say that unless your director knows that you're looking. But I think it's never too early to start networking, and the right types of employers will want to build a relationship with top talent regardless of what age or status they're in their career, because they're hiring every single year, right?
Yeah, probably hiring every single day, right? You're building those connections to be able to see. Kyle, you made a big point about talking about the leadership, adding those accomplishments, other elements to your resume and or LinkedIn. Can you show the students where you would put that on their LinkedIn profile? And I noticed yours is very full and nice in that section, so good job.
Yes, yeah, like I said, I use it for sure. So let me know when you guys can see my screen. I know there's a little bit of a delay. So
we're good.
The main thing what's kind of cool is, like, especially if you're in a student organization, if you're in anything, right? It could be a job. If you've been in something at all, I'd put it in your experience first, especially if you've just worked a part-time or full-time job during summer where you get your internships. But LinkedIn starts telling a story, right? So I started at Northwestern Mutual in May of 2017. I've been in a variety of roles since then. Since I'm in recruiting, my current role is usually more career marketing, but it's targeted towards college students, campus staff, what I do, and then for everybody, just fun facts. And I actually found this word art. I'm not like a graphic design person at all. My girlfriend makes fun of me all the time for what I use for marketing versus what she does. But like, if you see a cool template, I literally just build this out in Microsoft Word, and I copy and paste it. Like, that's the cool part about the internet. If you're not plagiarizing, like I came up with all this text with compliance, and I added in this word art just to make it pop. And I show what my ideal candidates are looking for. But if you don't want to not mess up, but mix your experience with like leadership skills, there's actually tons of experience here where you can build out. So education, I listed every single thing that I was involved in at UW-Eau Claire. I did a really fun fundraising project where I raised $40,000 for a skateboard park, and it was a part of my service learning. And I actually have media that I put in. You can literally edit your education, and if you have anything, scholarships, like any type of committee or project that you worked on, you can add that in here, and you can simply add media, and you just put a link in there, and you would hit save. So that's one thing. I would even put things on high school, because sometimes I've like searched for like people that were in the singing statesman choir with me. I've searched for people that were athletes at Muskego High School that just don't come to my recall. So the more keywords you have on here, the better. I worked as a College of Business mentor at both Marquette and UWM, so I have that on there. And I have that service learning project. So in volunteer experience, there's a whole section for that, right? So you can do that. If there are skills or keywords that you have experience with, whether that's criminal justice, whether it's soft skills like communication, presentation, Microsoft Office, event planning, things like that, you can actually add skills in here, and you literally just hit this edit button for any of these sections and you can add a new skill. So beyond that, what's really cool is you can have people endorse you for those too. So I can get rid of these based on what I think is most valuable for my role. That's something that I haven't updated in a little bit. But you can see I have 28 connections that endorse me for sales, 29 that endorse me for leadership. And then one thing I make sure that I do is if I work with somebody and I enjoyed working with them, this could be in a classroom setting on a project, this could be in an extracurricular activity, this could be a boss that you had at a job, this could be any type of person that you're connected with. You can actually give a recommendation. So these are all people that I've worked with throughout my career where I've given recommendations to them. And you've always heard the saying you have to give before you receive or get. If you give people recommendations, they're probably going to want to give you one back, right? So when I was job seeking a couple times throughout my career, I made sure not to just get recommendations from my colleagues, but also other people that I met throughout the company. And a lot of times these references take up a huge portion of your LinkedIn where you can add really relevant or not LinkedIn, excuse me, your resume, where you could add other good examples. But I have 10 recommendations from colleagues in a variety of different roles, sometimes even just candidates that I recruited. And there's a whole accomplishment section. So as you're starting to take some of those classes, Bain, I think of you with the criminal justice example, put the courses down here, but every university has a different course number for the same class. So I wouldn't put criminal justice 233. I would put what the course name was. You'll notice on here, I just have all the business courses that were tailored towards sales and recruiting. And notice how there's not a course number on here, it's the title. I have 4 projects for committees that I've worked in at Northwestern Mutual. I have details in here, and you can actually look through and read this, right? I awards from as long as a scholar here, right? Patent, there's that. Courses, projects, honors, awards, a test score, maybe like your ACT or something, a language or an organization. And then a lot of colleagues of mine, since we have licenses in financial services, they'll have their licenses and their expiration number on there to show that they have other certifications too. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. I don't want this to overwhelm you guys because, like I said, I did not sit down for an hour and knock this out. This is like 7 years of my career on here. It's just important to understand where you're going, have a call to action, and specifically talking about things that you did to get to results. It's really easy to write down your job description, but if you look at my second to last role where I actually like listed my accomplishments, I quantified every single thing on here, right? So if we do see more, talks about running an entire recruiting strategy, working on an executive leadership team, where I finished in my company for recruiting, what my results were, what I was doing on a day-to-day basis, as well as like different types of departments that I worked with. So ultimately, that's what you want your LinkedIn to look like. And if you're not certain how to do that, your career advisors can help you. And I mean, this is like one of like 5 or 6 professional development things that I've participated in Oshkosh. So your university and the academic staff there are doing a ton to help you guys out. So those are just a couple things that I would add on there. I know that's a lot. I kind of word vomited on everyone there for like 5 minutes without stopping, but those are key things for me, I would say.
Kyle, thanks for the kind words. Students, I think that it's interesting when you look at a recruiter looking at and sharing that they put a lot of quantitative data in there. It's because that's important for them, because that validates individuals and their success or their accomplishments. And so any opportunity that you have, especially our business students, should be putting those quantifiable data in and looking for that. Students, feel free to chat if you have any specific questions. We certainly can do that. I've added in the chat box just a recent article that I've stumbled across. The first part just talks a little bit about using LinkedIn and the features, but it goes down to some really great infographics about adding and where you can add different elements of your profile. So I found that resource, actually a student shared it with me and said it was very helpful. And I've shared it a number of times since this year, and they too have found it helpful. So use that. Any specific questions, Sam or Bain? Well, for both of you, no, you're good. Awesome. Ben,
I
you
just want to
know
give
that
you
I'm
both a shout out for coming to something.
I hope you're breaking up a little bit, Kyle. You must be reconnecting. I think he's going to give you a shout out because you're doing a great job of connecting and being engaged, especially on a Sunday night. So we appreciate that. Oh, Kyle, you cut out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I wanted to give you guys a shout out for taking it upon yourselves to learn more about this. You know, you're setting yourselves ahead of your peers on here. And like I could do this in my sleep, but it took a lot of time to get there. But you know, people like Chelsea on campus are help you with a lot of that. And I looked at Chelsea's LinkedIn; she has a lot of really good stuff on there. So we're here to help whenever we can with stuff like that.
Well, and Ben, you had asked about jobs and about connections with criminal justice, and we showcase the psychology people or individuals when we're looking at that. LinkedIn truly is about putting your information out there so individuals can connect with you when they're interested or when you fit the needs that they're looking for. So it really is about building your network and making sure you have those connections. And so Kyle did a great job of showcasing how he searches for individuals to fill roles and needs at Northwestern Mutual. And I truly am on LinkedIn on a daily basis when I'm at work. My LinkedIn, in fact, right now I have a tremendous amount of tabs opened up and 3 of them are LinkedIn. So I was just doing some graduate survey data, that's why. But students, I would encourage both of you to send a LinkedIn request to Kyle and I specifically so that you are in our network and then you have access to the thousands of students and individuals that we're connected with. So that it seems odd and weird the first time you do it or the second time and even the 10th time that you do that, but beyond that, it really is just very natural. And I realized that Kyle and I weren't connected. And so the first thing I do when I see a professional that I engage with on a platform like this is I automatically go to LinkedIn. I look at their profile. A, it's part of me doing my research on that individual, but B, it allows me to connect and expand my network. So thank you for presenting with me tonight, or you did a great job at this meeting, or it was nice to meet you at this platform, regardless of what it is. And that's how I work to expand my network. And I encourage both of you to do the same with us tonight, is to connect and expand your network using the connections that Kyle and I have. So. And if you want, the offer always stands for you to schedule an appointment in career and professional development. We would do LinkedIn. I said I don't make it a habit to go scout on students' LinkedIn unless they specifically ask or I'm grading an assignment, but I'm happy to do so. And I know that most of our employers, I would assume that Kyle and his staff as well, would be happy to look at and give you suggestions on your LinkedIn profile if you had some questions.
I just got 2 LinkedIn requests too, so thanks guys for taking our advice. That's great.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, if you have no questions, you're welcome to sign off. If you do have questions, stay on. You can turn your mic on or you can chat. We're happy to answer them. But thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it really is kind of amazing to watch how LinkedIn has grown over the years. I think we have 2 professionals from Baker Tilly that do the presentation in our Biz 284 class every year. And each semester she adds, Emily usually goes back in and looks to watch, how there's, 1,000 people to 1 million to 6 million to whatever, and that number grows every single semester that they present. So it's pretty amazing. Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Kyle, for taking time on a Sunday night. And I wish